Hello, in this video I'm going to go over how to install the ShipFast game template into your Unreal Engine project. So I'm in Unreal Engine version 5.7, the latest version at the time of recording. This asset pack works with versions 5.3 to 5.7, but I'm just going to show how to add it in the latest version. So once you've just added the asset to your project, go over to Edit, then Project Settings. And we want to go over to Maps and Modes, and we just want to change the game instance class to be the ShipFast game instance, and we also want to change the game default map to be the ShipFast launcher map. We then just also want to go over to Audio and change the default sound class to be the ShipFast SFX Audio. And we also want to change the default media sound class to be the ShipFast SFX Audio. This will just make it so any sound effect that you import will automatically work with the ShipFast sound effects slider, and all of the default sounds in Unreal Engine will also just work with the ShipFast sound effect slider. You won't need to change anything. Then we just want to go over to Enhanced Input. Go over to User Settings. In order to make it so the input remapping system works, we just need to go over to User Settings and enable User Settings. Make sure this is checked. In the later versions of Unreal Engine, this will be experimental, but still, just make sure it's checked. Next, you just want to go over to the ShipFast game template folder and go over to the ShipFast data asset, open it up, and you want to go over to the opening level. So this is going to be the level it takes us to when we click play on our main menu. You want to change this to be whatever your opening level of your game is. So I'm in this example project, and I think the starting level is the level third person. So I'm just going to change the opening level to be the level third person. And then we also have this developer logo. So you know how when you're playing a game for the first time and you open it up, it normally shows the developer logo. Here you can change this to be the logo of your company. And we also have the game logo. This appears on your main menu, your pause menu, and your credit screen. You can change this here, and if you don't want the intro screen, you can just disable it. There is the remappable controls, although I'm going to cover how to do this later on. So just to test everything out, I'm just going to go over to my ShipFast game template and over to my levels, and I'm going to go over to the launcher map, and let me just play my game. So I'm now in the main menu of my game, and this template comes with a full settings menu and a credits menu. I'm just going to click the play button, and it'll take me to the level that I wanted to start my game off in. Right now, there is no pause menu implementation. To set up a pause system, you can just go over to your character's input folder. I'm going to right click, go over to input, select input action. I will call this input action underscore pause. And then let's just go over to the input mapping context of your character, open them up, go over to mappings, and just select the input action pause. And I'm going to make it so the player has to press the P button in order to pause the game. Then if you just go over to your character's blueprint, and I'm just going to right click and look for input action underscore pause. Expand this, and then I'm going to drag off started and look for pause game, and this is a function part of the ShipFast game template, and just make sure this is checked. And then if I just compile this, save everything, and let me just go over to my level third person. If I play the game, if I press P, it's going to pause my game, and I have access to the settings menu where I can change all of the settings of my game. I can go back, I can resume my game, and if I want to, I can also just return to the main menu. And then one more thing, if you want to add music to the game and you want it to work with the music slider, just go over to the audio that you imported. So I'm just going to go over to my ShipFast game template, audio, and over to the music. And this is the music I play on the main menu. Open it up, and just make sure that its class is the SF music audio. So if I play my game and I just pause it and I go over to settings and I go over to audio, this will now work with the music slider. By default, every other sound effect will work with the SFX slider. Hello! In this video, we're going to go over how to change and invert your player's mouse sensitivity. So if I just play my game, if I press P to open up the pause menu, I can go over to the settings and over to keyboard and mouse controls, and I can change the mouse sensitivity. So I can change it all the way to 1, and maybe I will invert the mouse sensitivity in the x-axis. Let me go back, and then I'm just going to go back and resume my game, although my mouse sensitivity hasn't changed at all. So in order to make this work, we can just go over to your character, and we just want to open up the third person character and go into the aim. So we basically want to go over to the part where we are updating your character's controller yaw input and their controller pitch input, and just drag off the X and look for invert X and sensitivity and connect this into here, add controller yaw input, and then for the Y, I'm going to drag off here and look for invert Y and sensitivity and connect this into here. Then go compile, save this, and if I play my game, my mouse sensitivity is really low and it's also inverted in the X. So if I just pause my game again, I'm going to go settings, and let me just change this all the way to 100. And now my mouse sensitivity is a lot more. So just like that, we've easily made it so we can control the mouse sensitivity in our game, and we can also invert it. Nice. Hello. In this video, I'm going to go over how you can set up input remapping. So I'm just going to go over to my ShipFast game template, and let's go over to the ShipFast data asset. And to set up input remapping, we just want to go over to input mappings here and just select your input mapping that you're using. So I'm going to change this to be the IMC default. You can add as many as you want. And then I'm just going to save this, minimize, and if I play my game and I press P, and then I go over to my settings, and then I go over to the keyboard and mouse control, I'm going to see a list of all of my inputs, although I can't really see what control is binded to each input, and I'm going to get some errors. In order to fix this, we just need to configure a few settings in the input mapping context of our character. So go over to the input, then go over to the IMC default, so the input mapping context. Then we just want to go over to the button which is assigned to the input, so go over here, and then we want to go over to settings behavior and change this to override settings, and then go over to player mappable key settings and select this, and then go over to name. I'm just going to call this jump. Okay, this is used by another one of my things. So I'm just going to call this jump third person. For the display name, I will just keep it the same. And now if I were to save this and I play my game, if I press P and I go to my settings and leave it to keyboard and mouse controls, I can see my jump third person, and I can see it's assigned to the spacebar key. But I can just select this and I can press K, and now if I go back and I resume my game, in order to jump, if I press spacebar it's not working, although if I press K, I can jump. Let me just go P to pause my game again, then go over to settings, over to the keyboard and mouse controls, and I can also just click reset keys, and that will reset it back to its default value. Okay, so you can see for if action move, it is the same for multiple of these. So to fix this, I just need to define it. So let me just go back to my input mapping context, go over to the input action move, and then let me just go over to W, let me go over to modifiers, and change the setting behavior to override settings, and then go over to player mappable key settings and just select this. Then I just need to expand this, and then for the name, for W, this is for moving character forwards, so I'm just going to call this move forwards third person, and I can just copy and paste this. And then I just need to do this for each of the different controls. So I'm just going to fast forward to when I've done that. Okay, so I've set this up for the W, S, A, and D keys. There were some other keys, although I just decided to delete them. The process remains exactly the same though. Once you add all the keys, you should get no more error messages. And now if I were to play my game, and I just pause it, and I go over to the settings, and over to keyboard and mouse controls, I can see all of the different controls, and I can easily rebind them. Okay, so that's just a quick video documentation on how to set this up and get this working with your project. And now you have all of the essential tools that you need to ship your game. Nice.